Hi, this is Aiden Aslin with another video vlog. So in today's vlog we're going to be talking a bit about my experience with international training exercises, in particular sea breeze from last year. While we were there, this was like June through to like July, for like 2 weeks. There was foreign instructors from the United States Marine Corps. There was British instructors, and then there was also a Canadian instructor, most of which were evaluating, and then also the US Marines were helping to give new tactics and new drills to the Ukrainian Ukrainian soldiers that were there when we were doing the training. This is also where I mentioned previously before that there was a bunch of corruption as well with the canteen food, where we basically fed stuff that you wouldn't even give to a dog. But yeah, we had different instructors there. There was Canadian, American, US Marine, and then there was also the Moldovan soldiers who were also there. We had some Georgians from Georgia that were attending. So you had quite a mixed bunch, and yeah, so you can just imagine the sort of training the Marines were giving them. You've got the Marines professional force, and then you've got the Ukrainian Marines, not quite the same, but the Ukrainians tried to do what the US Marines told them in regards to tactics and training. So you can only imagine how that turned out. This included weapons drills and movement and concealment sort of tactics, and also how to attack as a company and squad tactics and stuff like that. I had a bit of interaction with the US Marines. They were from the 6th Battalion, if I remember correctly. I can't remember too many details about it. It was a year ago now. My memory's really shit. So yeah. Other than that, I'm going to try and keep this vlog short, because obviously you don't want to be sat here for a whole hour watching me talk about random stuff. I'll be able to talk about more detailed stuff in the future. So yeah, for those who don't know, I've now officially been charged as a mercenary in the Donetsk People's Republic. Now I'm waiting to go to trial and see what the judge and jury say. Obviously, I've been for the past 2 months now, I've been trying to pressure the British government into pressuring Ukraine to go ahead and establish a prisoner exchange for the past 2 months, and at the moment it seems the British government aren't doing as much as they say they can be doing. So just a short message to my followers and all that, or anyone who follows me that would like to see a DPR soldier or a Russian soldier be able to return to his family, go ahead and try to pressure the British government into pushing forward for a prisoner exchange between myself and DPR or Russian soldiers, so that we can both return to our families. So yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, but it is as it. I'll take it as it comes. So yeah. Now I'm just going to move on to some of the answers you guys gave me in the comments from your previous or from my previous video. So I'm just going to read them because I won't remember it. Like I said, my memory's shit. So I've got the first message from Charles. He said, "What signs of neo-Nazism did you see during my time here, tattoos, patches and stuff?" I didn't see much in the Marines, in my Marine unit, but in other Marine units, I've seen the tattoo camp school chevron on some of the photos, some of the other Marines from 137th Battalion they shared. I saw some of the photos of that, and again, that's the tattoo camp chevron. So it's the SS division logo. So that gives you an idea of what that person believes. In regards to every day, I did see some of it, like when the Azov guys came by in Mariupol. A lot of the guys were wearing like the SS, not the SS like badge, but like the like some sort of chevron, which was obviously the SS design on it. Not the Azov logo, but it was like some other design on a patch. And then obviously you've got like some of the Azov soldiers who like blatantly have like swastikas like tattooed on like their forearms and stuff. I mean, if you know your history, then you know they're a dumb fuck, because like Hitler saw like Slavs, like all Slavs, as like subhuman. So you have to wonder why like a Ukrainian would like even like support that ideologically. So the only thing I can say to that is you're a dumb fuck. Second question, Regi Danielson. Did you meet soldiers from other countries who were on assignment to fight against Russian forces? Me personally, I can't say that I saw like people that were on assignment, or I met other people who were previously in the military, who had served in like the American and the British military, who were fighting alongside Ukrainian forces. I don't know if they were on assignment or if they were here of their own free will. Nor can I comment on like any of the other foreigners that came after the special operation started, because you know my situation. I was like pretty cut off from like what was going on in the majority of like the rest of Ukraine at that time. But most likely, I know there was one guy who went AWOL from his unit in Britain, and then tried to travel to Ukraine to fight against Russia. But I think he ended up being extradited back to Britain. I think I'm not 100% sure. And then I've got a message from the black man. What does an average Ukrainian private in the Ukrainian military think of Azov? I haven't really spoken too much like with like other like folks in the military about Azov. You don't really hear about them too much. We just know they're there, like in the system, but we don't really have like too much interaction with them, like outside of like Mariupol situation, for example. I know a lot of them, they see Azov as like some sort of like special forces unit. I mean, even myself, like for a moment, like I believed like they were like reformed and stuff like that, and that they were professional and all that shit. But obviously, once I saw how they acted, like for like in reality, like in Mariupol, I mean, there's like hundreds of videos of how they perform there. I mean, there's a American journalist, Patrick Lancaster. He's interviewed like countless like civilians during the operation in Mariupol, where like he went up to the civilians and he asked them straight like what happened, like who came by your garden and whatnot. So like the civilians like said stuff like that Azov would come up to their position, like to their garden, they would fire the mortars or tanks while the civilians were hiding in the basement. So then they would go, and then obviously there'd be return artillery or like return fire from Russian and DPR forces, because that was a firing position that the Azov like fighters were using. So it gives you an idea. I wish I could comment more on like what more like Ukrainian like soldiers thought about them, but like that's the only thing I can really remember, is that they just fought as them as special forces. So on to the next question. Lord Siva, how different is the truth compared to what I thought or what I was told? As I said just previously, like Mariupol was my awakening, like to like what the reality was. Before that, like I used to like think that like the DNR was like basically just a Russian puppet state, and that there was just like Russians here like that were in control, like just different uniforms. I used to think, like a previous video I did like just before, like a few weeks before I surrendered, there was a video I was speaking about how Russian forces are targeting like the civilian like buildings and stuff in like Mariupol. And as I just said on the previous question, I'd actually learned that they were actually targeting like legitimate firing positions that Azov were using. As I just said, that they were like rolling up and using like mortar and artillery positions next to like civilian houses and then leaving the area. So like videos from like Patrick Lancaster like were one of the big, I'd say one of the bigger, I'm trying to think of the word. It helped me realise what the actual truth was, especially being a part of that that operation. Like at the time, I told you, like I was in the bunker, so I didn't really know too much about what was going on, like fighting wise, like outside the city. All I knew was we were getting like heavily bombed and shit like that. So that's the best I can like answer. And then also in regards to the fact that like since I've been here for like 2 months, the only Russians I've seen 2 Russians. I saw one Russian when we surrendered. That's logical because they came from Crimea. And then I spoke to the Russian investigator, who's also like, as Russia's like also investigating me like for crimes against Russia as well. So it's obviously logical that it would be a Russian investigator. Apart from that, everyone I've met here, they've been locals. Like they've not been like Russians or like the stuff that I used to think before. Like it's just been normal people, like normal lives. That's what surprised me the most, especially like how similar it is to like how the YPG like and the Kurds are in Syria. Like it's so similar here. That's like another like thing that's like that I regret. Like if I had known like a lot of these things beforehand, like obviously like I probably would have come to this side if I was at that point of thinking. Like as you know, like I was in Syria like with the Kurds, like same sort of similar system from what I've been reading as well. So yeah. I have a comment from username a nice guy. Oh yeah, nice guy. His comment, well, his question is what's my opinion on the person running my Twitter account at the moment and also my Instagram account. So from what I've learned, I've been like, obviously I've been able to see some of the stuff he's been posting because I've obviously been showed it. When this just before this operation began, like I think it was 2 weeks or a week before, I got a feeling that something was going to happen and decided to come off like social media, like just come off it totally. I handed my account over to like a friend who I knew online, like that I thought I could actually like trust to keep the account the same way I had it before. Like if people had followed me before, you most likely know I posted like just basic like pro-Ukrainian stuff. So I try to keep it like as non-biased as I could, and that also meant like refraining from like using like curse words or stuff like that against like I'd like to just call people like Russian or Ukrainian or DPR. Like however, like since my friend's taken over, like I've noticed like now like every time like Russia's involved or like DPR, it's always like they're always referred to as like Russian orcs or stuff like that, and people want to know my opinion on it. So my opinion on it is obviously I don't agree with that stuff, because if you followed my account before, like I hate posting shit like that. I've like made blatant like posts about propaganda and stuff, and like that basically fits into like the propaganda narrative of like what I've said before. Like it's a shock factor. It feeds into how propaganda is shared and accumulated because he's using shock words like Russian orcs or just stupid shit like that. So yeah, I don't agree with that stuff. And then also there's the other stuff like where he's sharing stuff about like how Russian POWs are like treated and stuff. If you remember back in, I think it was late March time, I had an opportunity to like quickly get some internet, and I made a post on my Twitter like calling out about basically how the online Ukrainian community was like glorifying the video of the Russian POW that was shot in the legs. If you can probably go back and find my post about it. I called out like the Ukrainian crowd and just basically said like I don't care if you're like Russian or if you're Ukrainian, like if you commit war crimes then you deserve to be fucking like judged for it. I mean, not only should you be like treated as like a war criminal, but you should also like be aware that you're going to be judged when you like go on in life, like by the big man upstairs. So that's another thing I need people to be aware of. Like Like, I'm not that sort of way of thinking. Like, if you followed my fucking previous like posts and shit, you'll know I post like propaganda and shit, but I try to keep it clean to an extent. So yeah, that's my opinion on my person who's running the account now. I don't agree with it. And then I have, let's see, 1 second. That's all the questions I've got so far. I've been seeing a lot of comments and like mentioning about Gonzalo Leva. I'm going to try. I'm hoping. From what I've heard and like seen, like he wants to do an interview with me or like live stream. I'm going to try and sort something for the future. So hopefully we'll be able to like do a live stream together. So at the moment we've just got to like try and work out a way that we can do it so that it will be easy for me, because obviously I'm a prisoner of war. I don't have like the freedom as Gonzalo does, so I've got to like figure out a way to do it. But hopefully I'll be able to do it for the future, and hopefully Gonzalez, if you're watching this, like you'll hopefully try and help me make this happen as well. Apart from that, I need everyone just to share this video, send it to your mum and your granny, send it to everyone, babushka. And also don't forget to pressure the British government, Ukrainian government into forcing a prisoner exchange, because obviously, as I said, like they've not been doing enough. Other than that, thank you. I'll see you next time.